Well, guys, I'm going to wrap it up with this one. I think I've pretty much covered all the pattern that we need to cover and the support systems and the attitude changing the tools. I'm going to wrap it up with a little bit of my story uh, to hopefully convey to you and get you to believe. I don't care where you come from. I don't care what your situation is. I don't care your education. I don't care what hangups you think you have or what skills or talents you may not think you have or whatever. I want to reassure you that I've watched thousands and thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of people become successful in network marketing from every conceivable walk of life, from every conceivable situation you can imagine. And I've explained to you in the previous tapes the necessary thought processes and attitudes that we all must develop in order to be successful. And anybody can learn what is necessary to learn to be successful in this business. It's not rocket science, it's not complicated, it's not necessarily easy, it's simple, it's going to take some effort. In my case, we all start at different places. Again, before I said success is measured by how far you come from where you started. I started way back there. I was probably one of the worst prospects one would ever want to approach for this business. Uh, I don't have the 2 hours necessary to talk about all the things that went into getting involved. I mean, probably at no other time in my life than the night it was shown to me would I have gotten involved. I had at that point in time about 10 and a half years in the Air Force. I was pretty much going to stay. I didn't want to stay, didn't want to be there long, but I had kind of got economically enslaved on some things, decisions, and marriage and babies, and there I was. But then at 10 and a half years, I was a tech sergeant. I was running a shift, and I wasn't doing it. I was working on the airplane. I loved my job, and I got a promotion to E7 to be a master sergeant, which was going to make me a shop supervisor, which I knew I could not do. So I was at a point where all of a sudden I had to make a decision whether that I had to get out. If I got this promotion, I wasn't going to be able to do my job anymore. I couldn't be a supervisor. I couldn't play that game. And it was at that time that one of my associates at work came to my house and showed me the Amway marketing plan. My initial reaction was, ain't no way, no how, not in a million years. But the guy said, you don't have to do it, just find three that can. And I ain't got time to tell you the whole story how we got involved, but we got involved. And it was a tough process for me to start talking to people. Prospecting was I mean, I got physically sick and threw up a lot of times trying to do meetings, and it was incredibly difficult to prospect. But the desire was there, the wanting to be financially free and independent. And we had a system, thank God, of tapes and seminar rallies to attend and upline counseling and all the things I've talked about to you before. I couldn't have made it without that system. I couldn't have made it without all that help and that encouragement, and a rally to go to. Every month I would quit the business, every month. But then there would be that Saturday every month where we had the seminar and rally where we went over and I got fired up and I got re-inspired. It was like 30 days at a time. If I could just make it to this next meeting, if I can hang in there long enough. I wasn't great at it. I wasn't good with people. I would bring people in and I would blow people out. I didn't have any patience with people. I was abrupt and brutal sometimes with people. I'm brutally honest and abrasive. And so it wasn't an easy thing. It was a growing, changing, rather painful, but at the same time, wonderful experience to grow and change and get better. And it wasn't an overnight thing. It was a process. I did get to a point in 11 months, I was able to get out of the Air Force and go full time in the business in 1975 and went full time, pretty much full time for the whole time. I tried a few things on the side, but nothing really, never took any job, never had to work for anybody. And what I want to talk about here is if I can, you've heard this a million times. It sounds so cliche, but it's if I can do it, anybody can do it. There were people on my team that became successful that when I first met them or first brought them business, I didn't have a lot of hope for them. But inside of there, inside of that chicken exterior was an eagle. You don't know what's inside of people. They've never had the opportunity for it to come out before. They've never been in an environment where they could actually start to dream again, start to believe in them. They never had anybody believe in them. And that's the most important thing here, guys. If you read, if you listen, if you counsel, if you associate, you will. There, it's in there. It's already in there. You will get it out. You will become what you were supposed to be. If you can dream it, you can have it. Anything the mind of man can conceive and believe, he can achieve. And that's true. You can do that. You can learn. You can become. Your brain has unlimited power to overcome, to become, to learn. Unlimited ability to learn. You are not a plumber or a carpenter or a truck driver or air conditioner repairman or whatever. That's the job you do. You're not worth. Your worth isn't measured by what the job you found through circumstance. That's what the job's paying you. You need to read The Greatest Miracle. Understand what you're worth. Your worth is unlimited. You can be, you can become, you can change, you can grow, you can make this happen. You can find the people if you keep looking for them. As you get better and better, you will get better and better at talking to people. You'll get better at attracting people. You'll get better at communicating. You'll get better at understanding and helping. You'll get better at caring. You'll learn all those things. You will learn. I mean, you go to college for 4 years to get a piece of paper to go out and start all over again. You build this business for 4 years and you do it correctly, the way we teach you, you're going to be financially free. It's a big. You just got to have that 4 or 5 year goal. You got to have to be patient. Be impatient, but be patient. That you and just keep steadily learning and progressing and growing and working at it and prospecting and talking to people and showing the plan and following up and following through and counseling, and it's just that you just keep repeating that over and over, and you will continue to grow. You will get better and you will be successful. The only way you can fail here is to either not do it, not start, or quit. If you do it, if you're consistent, if you're persistent, and you have the long range goal and the long range village, I'm going to do whatever it takes for as long as it takes. I'm going to make it work. You can not fail. There is no failure. There is only learning. There is only things and struggles to help you to grow. Every time some crappy thing happens, you need to look and ask yourself, okay, what am I supposed to learn from this? Obviously, there's something I'm supposed to learn. There's some area I need to grow in. And look for the positive there. Look for the reason why. You will find some of these horrible things you think are horrible at the time. When you look back on them, they were the best thing that could have ever happened to you because it changed your path. It made you change some thinking. It made you change something about yourself. It made you grow. It made you become better. You can be successful here. You deserve it. You can have it. You can do it. You just have to believe. Not necessarily an easy thing to do. Wasn't easy for me. Boy, there were a lot of struggles, guys. I wish I had the time to go through. There were a lot of ups and downs. There was a lot of hills and valleys. There was a lot of what I thought I got there and I wasn't there. I wasn't ready yet. There was people that I counted on that you don't ever want to count on anybody but yourself. There were people that I thought were going to and they didn't. There were people that did and then didn't. There was that constant trying to find the right people. It took me a long time to learn how to dig down in depth to find the people. It took me a long time to learn the people skills, to develop the relationships, to learn how to communicate to people. I was Mr. Information in the beginning. I was teacher. I was trainer. I could overload you with technical stuff and details and information, but it cost me a lot of money to discover that wasn't where it was at. It was about building relationships. It was about people to know how much you know, don't care how much you know, really know how much you care. It was learning to care. It was learning to take the eye off myself and put it on the other people. It was learning to focus on helping them get what they want. The old Zig thing, you're going to get what you want. I'm going to wrap this up. It would take me 2 hours, 3 hours. I used to do 4 hours just telling my story. I'm not going to bore you with that. All that is important is I was able to eventually find the people. It took a lot of people. It took talking to a lot of people. Had to bring a lot of people in to find and develop a few organizations that eventually grew to over 200,000 people. When I sold my business in 03, '04, I had to come up with all the numbers to evaluate it and give the list. And I had 126 people that I had personally sponsored. I had developed organizations. Some of them kind of developed with or without me once I got them trained and started. But we had organizations totaling over 200,000 people all over the world. I think it was 18 countries, and we traveled all over the world. We traveled to every country. We had people do meetings and meet those people. Uh, I could just sit and talk forever about the rewards. You know, that it's not my turn on, but I had 3 different airplanes. I had 10 different motor coaches. We traveled the country, had been to all 50 states, been to 33 countries, had all the material things, had all the wonderful things that money can buy. But the only thing I ever really wanted was personal freedom. Guys, and I had 25, 30 years of the most incredible lifestyle that you can achieve on this planet. The only network marketing gives you the freedom to. I never wore a watch. Still don't wear a watch. Haven't worn a watch in 40 years. Every day was Saturday. There were no hump days. There were no Mondays. There were no Fridays. Every day was Saturday. Every day was get up and what do you want to do today? I mean, the freedom to live where you want to live. Just think about that. You're not restricted by a job or where would you live if you live anywhere. I ended up in Tucson, Arizona. You know, and spent 21 years in a place that there was no other place that I wanted. I traveled the world. I fell in love with Tucson, Arizona. Was able to spend 21 years there. You know, what would you drive? What would you wear? What would you do for recreation? Where would you travel? There are just so many things you can have the freedom to do once you have that income there. Once you make the decision to change, become, and grow and build an organization and the income is there, you have choice. You have freedom to choose. You have the freedom to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, as long as you want to do it, as often as you want to do it, anywhere you want to do it. There's no thing in the world that gives me more joy. I mean, there's other spiritual things and, you know, people things that give you joy, but being in control of your life on a day-to-day basis, controlling your own schedule, controlling your own clock, you know, doing what you want to do, going where you want to go, buying what you want to buy. Oh man, God, I wish I could communicate it better than I communicate it, guys. That's what's in store for you. It's worth what you have to do. It's worth growing. It's worth becoming. It's worth getting better. It's worth helping other people. And I could go on and on about how wonderful it is. I got some of my most joyful moments. We did the stage thing a lot in functions, and sitting on the stage and watching people come across the stage talking about accomplishment who are in your organization, who you had worked with, who you had spent hundreds of hours sometimes with. My biggest guys up in Michigan that built 100,000 people in the organization. I spent hundreds of hours with those guys, agonizing to get them in the beginning to do the necessary, to grow, to change, to become, to believe, and finally watch them become financially independent, become credible leaders, build massive organizations, become persuaders and motivators and changers. What a joy! What a joy to take people and contribute and watch them become leaders and build huge organizations. You don't realize the power you have, how many tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of lives you have the power to change here by just sharing this concept. Don't be selfish. Don't think about yourself. Go share it. You can change untold numbers of lives. Just believe. Believe in yourself. Believe in your upline. Find a mentor. Do the reading. Do the looking. Do the growing. Do the work. You will be glad you did. I wish you all the success that you are willing to put the effort and time into. Go out there and chase your dream. Best to you. Take care.